And Chris are warning you guys as far as when you walk out the door this morning, what to expect and when it may lift. But behind that comes a nice summer day. We're here up until 10 a.m. on the morning news, committed to you.
Committed to you. Fox Carolina, the morning news starts now.
Breaking news from overnight. For the first time in 18 months, the U.S. prepares to open its borders to foreigners, but only if you're vaccinated. What travelers need to prepare for.
And a man is shot and killed by a deputy in the middle of a highway. This morning, we know who that suspect is, plus what led up to that deputy opening fire.
Plus, we're in store for another round of warm, above-average temperatures, but a rain fall is in the forecast. We're going to be talking about that coming up.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 13th. I'm Margaret Ann Carter.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Shale Ramin, meteorologist Kylie Miller, and traffic reporter Chris Scott is joining us. Nicole Pape has this morning off, and it is going to feel like summer out there, but you guys, I know you guys are monitoring a lot of fog in our area right now.
Can we get a foghorn back there from somebody? Yeah, it's pretty thick in a lot of different areas, no doubt.
There you go. There's a look at Clemson. Yeah, so we have low hanging clouds right there. So please be careful. And other locations not receiving the fog, like in Greenville right now, we're pretty good, and even into Toccoa. So just watch out for this fluctuating visibility. It's really in the troubled spots like Clemson, Anderson, and Greenwood for this hour, but the rest of us in pretty good shape. Now for Western North Carolina, especially the valley locations, we are dealing with some of that fog there too. So it's going to continue to be in our area for the next about 2 hours or so. Then it will start to lift and break up. Now temperatures are anywhere from 58 degrees in Hendersonville to 56 in Greenwood, to 59 in Toccoa, and 63 currently in Clemson. So it just depends on your location with those temperatures. We're a mix of 50s and 60s for this hour, but this afternoon we're jumping into the upper 70s, lower 80s with the variable cloudy sky conditions. So at times of the day, it's going to be partly cloudy, or mostly sunny. And we are talking about some rain coming back into the forecast. That's going to arrive on Saturday. And after that disturbance comes some cooler fall-like temperatures. More on all that in a few minutes. Chris?
All right, Kylie, thanks. Yeah, fog is an issue out there this morning. We are watching that very closely, as we have mentioned earlier. So just take your time and be careful. Low beam headlights, make sure that you don't forget to turn your lights off when you get to your destination, and leave a little extra early in some of these foggy areas. Getting a report of an accident around Asheville Highway at John Dodd Road this morning, so be alert to that. There are no injuries reported with it, but it is seeing a pretty good delay on that Asheville Highway John Dodd side. Keep that in mind if you're traveling that way. And Pelham Road and 85 north and south here, with the construction and everything, looks a lot more crowded than it really is, but it is moving fine, and traffic is back and forth at a speed limit pace, or a little bit slower from exit 51 all the way back to about exit 56 southbound right now.
We begin with breaking news this morning in Seneca, where a man is behind bars following an hours-long standoff. Just take a look at this video our crews captured at the moment police arrested 24-year-old Melvin Cabrera. We're told that he barricaded himself inside of a home near East South 5th Street for nearly 3 hours. Reports say that Cabrera was wanted for possession of a stolen car, along with several other bench warrants. We spoke with neighbors who watched this terrifying situation unfold and thanked law enforcement for peacefully resolving the issue.
We saw a bunch of Oconee County police officers do an outstanding job of protecting the community tonight. They brought the guy out very safely with no issues at all. And it's real quiet and nice. I got good neighbors. Everybody seems to mind their business. It's just a nice little small community.
Thankfully, the standoff ended peacefully. As I mentioned, nobody got hurt. Cabrera is expected to have a bond hearing sometime today. We'll let you know what comes out of that courtroom.
New details for you this morning. We now know the name of a suspect shot and killed by Anderson County deputies following a high-speed chase. We first brought this to you as breaking news during our afternoon shows yesterday. Deputies say 40-year-old Jonathan Combs took off from a traffic stop along Lee Street, and we're told Combs was driving a stolen Camaro at the time. Now, the chase eventually ended near Midway Road along Highway 8. That's about 15 miles away from where he first was stopped. Now, as things came to an end, the sheriff says Combs stepped out of that car with a gun, forcing deputies to shoot. Thankfully, no officers were hurt and no other injuries were reported.
Now back to the live desk for another news alert. The U.S. is easing travel restrictions for fully vaccinated visitors from Canada and Mexico, ending a nearly 19-month freeze due to the pandemic. The first phase starts early next month, and it allows people traveling for non-essential reasons to cross U.S. land borders if they show proof of a vaccination. In January, the second phase will begin. That will extend the vaccine requirement so that it also includes people traveling for essential reasons. Testing will not be required to enter the U.S. by land or sea, provided the travelers meet the vaccination requirement. In the meantime, China is preparing to test tens of thousands of blood bank samples from the city of Wuhan as part of a probe into the origins of the COVID-19 virus. Now, the move comes as more officials call for transparency over its emergence. The store of up to 200,000 samples dating back to late 2019 could help determine when and even where the virus first crossed into humans. Once China has those results, they are expected to share them with both the Chinese and foreign health teams.
Carolina is your school station. A Spartanburg School District votes to bring back masking if there's another COVID-19 spike and in specific situations. We were there as it was the main topic of last night's school board meeting out in District 7. Fox Carolina's Lindsay Gibbs is live in Spartanburg County this morning. And Lindsay, I know it's not happening quite yet, but break down these changes, possible changes.
Yeah, Shale. So students went back to school as normal today. District leaders here say that they're not prepared to implement this masking requirement unless they see COVID spiking in the same numbers that it was before. So this is all just kind of in preparation if that does happen again. Now, we actually sat in on the Spartanburg District 7 school board meeting last night. There was a lot of back and forth about bringing back a masking requirement. Ultimately, the district voted to allow masking requirements for specific schools, staff departments, and classrooms if they're experiencing an outbreak. During the meeting, some of the members against the recommendation asked about other measures being taken to mitigate the spread, such as temperature checks and testing. The district says they are using contact tracing as well as hiring nurses to check temperatures if students show symptoms. But they say bringing back the masking requirement will help students in the keep students in the classroom.
Even though we may not be in full agreement of everything, I do hope that through our conversations, through our listening, that we will be able to come to some common ground on what is best for District 7 and our community.
I'm going to break down some numbers for you this morning. These COVID numbers are from all the schools in Spartanburg at District 7. There were over 1,400 total student quarantines. That's about 14,500 missed school days. Now, again, everyone's going to go back to normal as far as masking requirements in school. We do know that principals from School District 7 are gathering today to have a meeting about what a masking requirement will look like going forward. But of course, we'll keep you updated on everything. Shale?
Yeah, hot button debate. Thank you, Lindsay. Greenville County schools are also revisiting circumstances that could require the district to implement a mask mandate. Now, this includes if there's a new variant that is more contagious or resistant to the current vaccines. The spread across the district tops a rate of 4,500 cases per 100,000 over a 2-week period, and the number of cases in Greenville County community is trending upwards. But it is important to note the board did not actually decide to bring back a mandate as of right now.
And back to another news alert. With hand sanitizer no longer scarce, the FDA is telling some companies to stop production by the end of the year. The agency issued relaxed guidelines in March of last year to address tight supply conditions driven by a surge in demand. Well, they followed non-drug manufacturers to produce certain hand sanitizers for the public health emergency. However, the FDA says that the supply from traditional suppliers is almost back to normal now. Companies can manufacturing those alcohol-based hand sanitizers have to stop by December 31st, though.
Well, in his first interview, we are sitting down with one of Alec Murdaugh's attorneys. It's part of a 4-part series you'll see only on Fox. Our own Cody Alcorn went to the attorney's office in Columbia, and there have been a series of bombshell revelations, unsolved crimes, and 6 active investigations underway, all tied to the Murdaugh family. Now, this includes the deaths of his wife, Maggie, and his son Paul, stories that have gained national and international attention.
He didn't do it. I feel strongly he didn't do it. I mean, I thought the world of Paul, and Maggie, and, I just...
Any idea, what would be a motive to randomly go on that property and kill those two knowing that he wasn't there?
That's something that, that remains, I don't have any idea now.
Well, coming up in the next half hour, we dig into the conversation leading up to the Murdaugh's botched suicide for hire attempt. It's an interview you'll see only on Fox. Kylie, what's the big weather story?
Severe weather rocked parts of the Central Plains yesterday. This was the scene at Clinton Regional Airport near Oklahoma City. The fire chief says the tornado damaged 28 out of the 29 hangars, and one of them actually collapsed on a plane and a car. This storm knocked out trees and power lines in other communities nearby. Luckily for us, we have some quiet weather conditions in store, so we are going to be talking about that in more detail in a few minutes.
In a party line vote, the House of Representatives approved an extension of the nation's debt limit, what this means for the government going forward through the end of 2021.
And upstate police are debuting a new app they say could save your life in an event of a nearby crime. We are live taking a closer look at that technology. But before we head to break, here's a look at yesterday's winning lottery numbers. Pick 3, 622. Pick 4, 6618. That fireball is 5. Your evening winning lottery numbers: pick 3, 560. Pick 4, 8030. That fireball is 8. Your cash 5 is 1, 11, 13, 14, 23, and that multiplier is 3. Last but not least, the Mega Millions: 21, 26, 56, 61, 65, and 4. Good luck to you. We're back after this.
You're watching Fox Carolina, the morning news.
Welcome back. We're following the latest out of Washington from our live desk. Overnight, we learned the House approved a short-term hike to the nation's debt limit. Taking you live right now to Capitol Hill, where members voted last night to ensure the government can continue paying its bills at least until December 3rd. Now, the next step is for the president to sign it. As I mentioned, this is just a temporary fix that Congress will have to revisit in less than 2 months. However, this time, Republicans are promising Democrats will have to lift the cap without their help. And as we previously reported, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had warned the government would likely run out of cash by October 18th, causing catastrophic consequences, and those are now temporarily delayed.
Developing this morning, 3 people are dead after a postal worker went on a shooting spree at work, killing 2 fellow employees and then turning the gun on himself. A historic post office out in Memphis, Tennessee turned into this crime scene yesterday afternoon. Investigators found 3 people shot inside and continue to collect evidence. Now, the employee and the victims he shot have yet to be identified this morning, and a motive is not known. But this is the third high-profile shooting near that West Tennessee city with it just in a few weeks. We have new details to share in the Gabby Potito case. It's an answer to a question we've all been waiting for. How was Gabby Potito killed? Now, the Teton County coroner finally releasing that autopsy result of the 22-year-old, saying she was strangled to death. Now, this comes after her remains were found in the Bridger-Teton National Forest back on September 19th. Her fiance, Brian Laundrie, right there, remains the main person of interest in her tragic death. And we want to take you live right now at 8:15 to a live look just outside of his house in Florida. This was where he basically came home without Gabby and then took off. Law enforcement still is looking for him. His father just joining the search last week for this. So as you can see, a couple cars parked outside, but this has been a hotspot area for investigators, many people to investigate inside of his home. He does remain the person of interest, and investigators say they need to question him.
Fox Carolina is committed to you, and upstate police chiefs are asking drivers to download a new app. They say it could really help keep you safe in one of the most dangerous situations to law enforcement and the public, a high-speed chase. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkel is live this morning at Easley Police Department with how it all works.
Well, it's all based off an app called Digital Siren. So if a police pursuit is going by you, the app can sense whether or not you're in your car, and it'll push out an alert to notify you to move over. And in fact, we have exactly what it sounds like. Take a listen.
Warning, high-speed pursuit in progress nearby.
Hard to ignore that, and officers in Easley and Pickens can now simply push a button and send that out to anyone within a certain radius of the pursuit. The notification tells drivers a chase is coming through before lights and sirens could, giving drivers extra time to react. The police chief here in Easley says they have an average of 60 to 65 pursuits a year. We spoke with the driver who tells us the app could be an important reminder to others to pull over.
I think these other drivers out here needs to be safe and take care of other people. If you don't care about your life, then take care of everybody else's life. We've got kids in these cars, and we got some idiots out here too.
And you can download the Digital Siren app in the Google Play Store or in the Apple Store. We have the link on how you can do that in our Fox Carolina News app. And now we've also been taking a close look at the numbers after hearing how dangerous these police pursuits can be. So stay tuned, because coming up next, we're going to walk you through what we found. Back to you.